Absolutely. Shrishti, a very good morning to you. History created by India, first nation to actually land in the southern pole of the moon. So yes, history created by us, and we'll talk more in detail of that historic moment that was created, and also we'll talk about the stocks and the unknown startup also space which are involved in this. But before that, let's take a look at what the markets are doing at this point in time. And if you look at the markets, yes, we are holding on to the positive territory, tad bit off the day's highest point when it comes for the benchmark indices. We've given up some of those gains. Earlier on, we were trading high by about 0.5% or so. Now we are seeing gains of about 0.3%. So that's the way how the markets are looking like at this point in time. If you look at Nifty Bank, continues to actually outperform the benchmark indices. Remember, yesterday also you had Nifty Bank that was outperforming the benchmarks, and today as well is outperforming the benchmark. 0.5% uptick, though off the day's highest point. Broader markets charting their own course. You could actually say, Shrishti, that they may be aiming for the moon, because you have the mid-cap index that is at the record high levels. You have small-cap index that's tad below the 19-month high levels. Talking about the stocks that are moving in trade, is Adani Enterprises, that is the top gainer on the Nifty at this point in time. Remember, in yesterday's trading session, towards the last 15 minutes of the trading session, you saw sharp cuts come in for all of the Adani counters. But today, you have Adani Enterprises, that is the top gainer on the Nifty, followed by IndusInd Bank, BPCL, Ultratech, as well as Asian Paints are the other set of gainers. While on the losing front, you have Hindalco, NTPC, DVs, M&M, as well as Reliance Industries that are losing in trade. Take a look at the advanced decline ratio, because in that you get to know that for now the tilt is towards the gainers. So yes, you have more gainers compared to losers. And if you look at the sectoral indices, then all the sectoral indices are in the positive territory. The only one that's gaining the least is the auto index. But on the flip side, you have realty index, that's the top sectoral gainer, followed by you also have other sectors like IT, metals holding on to good set of gains in today's trading session. But yes, we cannot stop talking about what sort of a history was created yesterday, Shrishti, isn't it?
Well, yes, and Cheryl, onto this particular development, many Indian stock market companies have also participated. So let's dive deep into this particular space, which are the stocks, as well as from the startup world, which companies are in focus, how the startup world has been evolving when it comes to the space segment. For all of that, we are being joined by our colleague Sharad Dubey onto the studio. So Sharad, take us through all the companies that have participated in this proud mission, as well as are the stocks price already on the moon?
Well, yes, actually you can say that, and there are a lot of moon related stocks as well, and coincidentally my name also means moon. Wow. But now let's actually look at the stocks, what they have been buzzing. And of course we have small cap names such as Centup Electronics, as well as MTAR Tech, and even L&T. All of these stocks have been buzzing, but the stocks which would be in focus, of course, would be the Indian Space Association members. We have L&T, Nelco, Bharti Airtel, and also from the small cap space we have Walchand Nagar Industries. Now across the missions also there are certain stocks which they have actually provided the services. Now for L&T, it's a 5 decades of association with ISRO, and they have been involved in the mission starting from the manufacturing of subsystems till the mission tracking. Now this is like the entire value chain. Apart from this, the MTAR Tech is also in focus. Core parts they have manufactured. This is the rocket engines as well as the pumps. Centum Electronics, they have been making around 300 to 500 odd components for the Indian space mission also. While HAL also, they also delivered mechanical structure and equipment payloads as well as the previous missions. Apart from this, also interesting name coming up is from the auto segment, that is Sundaram Fasteners. They generally supply fasteners to OEM, but they also are supplying fasteners to the Indian space missions as well. So a lot of clutch of stocks are buzzing in trade, and this has been happening for the last 2 sessions, and today also the stocks are in the green.
Absolutely. Actually, a lot of did you know material that you've given all of our viewers, and also frankly speaking, I did not know that Sharad meant actually moon. So yes, that's also another did you know for us. But Sharad, that's what you spoke about, the companies that are already kind of linked, and in the listed space that are linked with the space industry. Let's dive in more. You can talk to us about also, now you have a lot of startups that are actually into this particular domain. We've seen a lot of them actually getting into small manufacturing as well. One of them has also drone companies. Also, we've seen a lot of rise in drone companies. You could tell us what exactly is the funding scenario for all of these companies, and which are these companies that one should watch out for in the future?
So Cheryl, the important part about Indian space is frugality. We as Indians, we as the ISRO, we believe in frugality, and of course collaborations coming in. So, of course, a lot of startups are also in focus, and let's look at the numbers, of course, but then the increased focus is being seen on an important thing which is called the satellite launch services. Now, a successful launch service has happened. Now, a series of more announcements are expected to kick in, and this is what will actually benefit the startups, be it the technical collaborations, be it a better costing for the projects, and also the overall government push coming for the entire space projects. Now let's look at how the funding scenario is pointed out, and of course the numbers say a lot about it. And of course in the year 2020 the startups were just in the tech space only 21, and currently in 2023 itself it's at 146, about to touch 150 odd startups. Look at the valuations as well as the funding that has actually crossed $200 million of total funding in just last 18 months. So that is a very important number when it comes to the startups. But now you must be wondering, what are the important startups which are actually associated in the Indian tech, in the space tech, and that is a very important number. We have Pixels, we have Skyroot Aerospace, Satshore, Agnicool Cosmos, Dhruva Space, and they are actually giving a lot of ancillary services to it apart from the software services and the product usage as well. So a lot of green shoots coming in for the startups as well as the listed space. So this is something which we'll be actually watching out for going ahead.
Well, thank you so much, Sharath, for getting us all those interesting details for our viewers on the back of this Chandrayaan mission, which are the stocks in focus and how this opens the gate for further funding in the startup world. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
But with this, viewers, let's move on and let's try to connect with our experts and know their take. They're amongst the space, among the listed space especially, which are the spaces that you need to be watching out for when it comes to the stocks that are related to the space segment. For that, we are being joined by Ashish Maheshwari, who is the director at Blue Ocean Strategic Advisors, and on to the technical side, we are being joined by Kunal Bothra. Very good morning and welcome both of you onto the buy now, sell now lens segment. And Ashish, coming to you, many stocks in focus and interesting names coming in as Centum Technologies, as well as MTR Technologies, Sundram Fasteners. Other than that, L&T, HAL, these are the names that have participated in Chandrayaan-3 mission. So any such name that you still like at this point in time? Because we have seen many names that have seen great moves in the past couple of days. So what's your take on these stocks, as well as there are other stocks as well which are related to the space segment? So any of the picks from that?
Yes, first of all, after this successful landing of Chandrayaan-3, one major thing will happen, that the export market of these companies which are associated with this mission will certainly go up. Because if you see, ISRO annual budget is just 12,500 crore. Which if I see the NASA budget, which is almost $25 billion per annum, at least for 2023. So a lot of interest will be there from Indian companies to outsource now, or Indian companies will be able to export their product there. As far as companies are concerned here, I think I like three companies still, though prices have moved up quite sharply in last few days, but still we can keep an eye on companies like MTAR Technologies, which is a company which make rocket engine and core pumps for such missions. And this is not a startup, this is a 30-year-old company. And their liquid propulsion engine or cryogenic engines are quite in demand. So this is a company which is going to be one of major beneficiary. Another company which I like in this space is again Tata Elxsi, because they are developing all avionics and software for such missions. And this is a company which derive almost 40% of revenue from media and communication business. So their CMRM module, which was used there, I think this has got also good potential. Third company, again, I like another electronics company based out of Bangalore, this Centum Electronics. They make all this electronics system for space. Even Chandrayaan-3 also, more than 200 plus modules are given by Centum Electronics, which are mission critical nature. So again, this company, which is having almost 1,500 crore outstanding order book, looks very promising. So these three picks from my side.
All right, so that's the picks coming in from from Ashish this morning. Very good morning to you, Ashish. So 3 picks coming in from Ashish in this entire space arena. One is MTAR, one is Tata Elxsi, and the last one is Centum Electronics, which has actually seen a spectacular rise given the fact that its contribution to this mission. But Kunal, very good morning to you. And which are the companies that you are watching out for this particular category? We've never spoken about this particular entire domain actually. It's not only limited to a handful of stocks. There are a lot of stocks, at least excess of 13 stocks that are actually kind of have an impact with regards to when it comes to the space mission as well. So which are the stocks that you are watching out for? Too many stocks for you to look at?
Well, there are too many stocks to look at, and I'll stick to the ones which are more classical in nature. So, the likes of L&T, for example, looks exceptionally strong on the charts. The stock has been through a significant upside for itself and still looks to be quite prominent over here. BHEL is something which we've been recommending over the last many months. So that's a stock which I still quite like in terms of the chart structure. And I would probably expect the stock to steadily as well as gradually keep on making new highs for itself over a span of the next 1 to 2 years broadly. So would be bullish on that chart structure as well. And many of the other names, like for example MTAR, Centum, many of these stocks, they've actually already done exceptionally well. Many of these stocks have recovered more than 40 to 50% from their 6-month, 7-month odd lows for themselves. And when you look at the longer term charts, many of these stocks have just kept on moving up higher on a regular basis. So it's very difficult to try and make a basket of portfolio just with few very names. But the ones which are looking very attractive on the charts, L&T, BHEL, MTAR Tech.
Okay, so those are the top recommendations coming in from the technical side as well. So that was all the lens about, viewers, that onto the mission to the moon, which companies have participated in going ahead from the space segment, which are the stocks that you need to be looking out for. But with this, we are slipping into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. As we come right back, it's time to take all your stock related queries. So stay tuned and start writing to us.